Hello there, welcome back to another special video. So today I thought let me talk to you about 15 Middle Eastern clone fragrances that you must absolutely try. Now I was looking at a video idea of thinking to do unique fragrances or fragrances that are really exceptionally good, that line, and then I thought, okay, why not just do a Middle Eastern special where I'll talk to you about 15 Middle Eastern fragrances that are really worth trying. These are fabulous fragrances for the scent profile, their performance is good, and they're definitely pocket friendly as well. So if you're looking to build a nice collection of fragrances, I think these are some good options for you to include in your collection, because these will cover designer and niche and all of that, right? I actually have about 20 fragrances or so, but I'm considering them as 15 because I'm clubbing a couple of them as one, right? So let's get this started and let's try and keep this video less than 20 minutes time. So let's get going. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get started. All right, let's get going. So the first honorable mentions that I would like to do is for a couple of fragrances, and this, in my opinion, is a fabulous underdog type of a fragrance. This is called the Ragba. Okay, now there is Ragba Intense, and this is the Ragba. This is the original one that came out much long ago, and this is an underrated gem because this is an alt of 24 Gold, which was a TV series. Then they released fragrances. It's a superb, caramelly brown sugar coated, very warm, very beautiful, and it's an excellent winter scent that you can think about. But standalone as a clone as well, this is a fabulous fragrance to try. So if you like a very sugary caramel, a burnt sugar, cotton candy type of a fragrance, very warm, very comforting, sweet, lovely kind of a fragrance, you should definitely consider this. And this is very cheap as a buyout option as well. You kind of get that. I got it for about less than 1,000 rupees, maybe about a year back, probably in the ballpark figure about 1,200 rupees. Comes with a deodorant as well. You should definitely consider this. This is Ragba. Okay, another honorable mention to start with is Dreamcatcher for Men. This is very popular from the house of Pandora Scents. This is a extremely good alternative of the Dolce & Gabbana, the one. Now, like I said, the title of this video is must try, Middle Eastern fragrances. And if you like Dolce & Gabbana and you like that powdery, woody, sweet smelling fragrance that you want for date nights to be with, with your partner, comfortable with your partner, all of that, then definitely consider this. This is Dreamcatcher from Men. Again, this is in the ballpark figure about 1,200, 1,300 rupees. So think about less than 1,500 rupees as a good price point to get this as well. So this is very good if you like Dolce & Gabbana, the one, right? Now, with the honorable mentions aside, let's get into the actual mainstream video of this particular fragrance list. And I'm going to start with two beautiful fragrances. Okay, one is Afro Leather from the house of Maison Alhambra, another is Rusi Leather from the house of Maison Alhambra. Now both of these are fabulous fragrances to consider and you can include them in your collection, but this you can think about as number 15 because Afro Leather is more spicy. It's got a little bit of sweetness, but it's got more coriander and that type of a scent. Whereas Rusi Leather, this is nobody talks about this particular fragrance. This is super underrated. Okay, this is a fragrance that's got leather, but it's got green aromatic vibe. It's got a lot of fresh kind of notes with green, herbaceous, aromatic, powdery, that kind of a scent profile. This is fabulous for a day. Now both of them are extremely good leather fragrances. One especially very good for evenings and a party kind of thing. Another extremely unique in its composition and extremely good for day wear. So very beautiful fragrances from Maison Alhambra to include as excellent clones of this is of the Russian leather from the house of Memo, and this is African leather from the house of Memo again, right? So these are number 15 in my opinion. Okay, but this whole idea of this particular video started with this particular fragrance that I really thought you should look at, because the idea was, like I said, to bring about unique fragrances or something like classy fragrances. And one of the classiest fragrances that you can definitely try is Tuxedo by YSL. Now if you don't have Tuxedo for YSL, or if you can't afford that, then you should definitely consider getting this Suits from the house of Fragrance World. Now this is a fragrance that's got a good amount of barbershop kind of a vibe. It's got that nice ambery element to it. It's got a bit of rose running in the background. It's a very powdery talcum, but mostly in amber dominant fragrance. It is a type of a signature smell that is very unique. It's very masculine. It's very elegant. And if you think about, gentleman classic, that kind of a scent profile where the signature smell is very unique and you want something that can get you compliment, something that can get you noticed, you should definitely get this. And this is a super performer as well. Even these two perform very well. You get about 6-7 hours easily. Even this does that. So you should definitely consider getting Suits by Fragrance World if you want an alt of YSL Tuxedo. Okay, so that was 14, right? So number 13, let's talk about one of the fragrances from the Bade Aloud series. Now the Bade Aloud series from Latafa is extremely popular, and all of them are really, really good, especially the black one. The Amethyst is also very nice. The Sublime is also very nice, but that's more of a slightly turned out cousin types. But this is an underdog, again. Now this one not a lot of people talk about, but the people who like gourmand, pineapple, creamy, that kind of a scent profile, that especially you want something for evenings, you want something very different, you want something unique, and you want to get compliments, and it's a little sweet, you should definitely try this. This is really, really nice. This is the Honor and Glory in the Bade Aloud series, and this is, I'm not really sure entirely on which particular fragrance this is based out of, but as a fragrance, this is really unique and very different to all of the other gourmand fragrances that are there. And this performs about 4 hours, I would say. It's a little softer on the in the projection as well, but as a fragrance, it's really, really classy. It is really underrated, and you can consider getting this. This is superb as a gourmand fragrance to add in your list. That is number 13. Right, moving on to more more fragrances towards that particular line. A lovely fragrance to consider from the house of Fragrance World is Spectre. Okay, now Spectre Ghost or Spectre, this is a beautiful alternate of the popular Nishane Ani. Now this is a really intoxicating type of a fragrance smell where there is a powdery, vanilla, ambery, slight element of rose in the background, very creamy, very beautiful. Now to some extent the scent profile might be a little like this. The only thing is Tuxedo is more sharper, more masculine. This is more linear towards gourmand, more comforting, more soothing type of a fragrance, but you will definitely get compliments. These are all fragrances that are fantastic for evening wear. They're good for clubbing, they're good for party wear, but I would say they're extremely nice for comfortable, comfort, right? So if you're looking for a very calm, soothing Sunday or evening wear that you want to enjoy with your partner, then these are the type of fragrances that you should consider having. And my oh my, just look at that beautiful bottle. It's a fab bottle to consider. This one also performs decently well, does about 4 to 5 hours. Projection is good. Again, in the ballpark figure, about 1500 or so, you can comfortably get this. This is an alt of Nishane Ani, and I have reviews of most of these fragrances. So if you want detailed review, you can definitely check out those, right? Moving to one fabulous fragrance. Again, this is very popular. Now this is available in stock with a lot of people. This is from the house of Zimaya. This is the Sharaf blend. Now this is one of the best alternatives out there, or probably in my opinion, the closest alternative of the popular by Kilian's Angel Share. So if you're looking for a boozy, ambery, saffron, sweet kind of a fragrance, this is superb. The kind of scent profile this has got, that boozy element to it, the cognac note on this, the sweet elements to it, the woody elements to it, all of them make it a beautiful fragrance. Now this is exclusively a fragrance that you should consider for wearing for celebrations, for weddings, for parties, that kind of an event. This is superb. This will get you compliments. Although I would say the scent profile in the lasting might be a little low, in the ballpark figure of about 4 to 5 hours or so, but as a scent, this is superb. And just look at the bottle. Don't you think this is worth having in your collection? This is a fabulous bottle to consider, and an extremely good scent as well. So if you're looking for a good alternative of Kilian's Angel Share, you should consider this. The Latafa Kamra Kawa also is a good option when you consider fragrances in this genre, where you're looking for a boozy fragrance that you want in the evenings with a good of ambery, sweet type of a smell, very luxurious, very comforting, very beautiful scent to have. You can consider this as well, but both of them are good option. And let's say this is, I think, number 11, right? All right, let's get going. Okay, another classic fragrance, and this is probably one of my first Latafas that I think I got. Either this or Ragba is one of them that I got. This is the Qaid. Okay, now this is the original Qaid that came. This was one of those fragrances that turned people's head around. It bought that nuclear projection type. This is a fragrance that's very dominant of oud, saffron, lot of amber elements, and a good woody vibe, a good oud as well. But this is a fragrance that projects like really crazy, and it's got a very potent juice color. Just look at the juice color at the bottom, it's crazy good. And this is a beast of a performer. It lasts for like 7-8 hours. It projects more about 2 to 3 feet. So if you're looking for a fragrance that can really be potent, and you want something really loud and nice, and and you want to experiment with something very unique, you should definitely consider this. Now, this is supposed to be an alt of Issey Miyake's Polaris. Some say Daniel Icon, but I don't think this is Daniel Icon. I have not smelled Polaris, so I can't talk about that. But this is a very beautiful signature smell to consider, and I think this might be discontinued. So if you're able to get this as a partial, or if you're able to get this in full hand, you should definitely consider getting this. This is superb from the house of Latafa. This is called Qaid. Now, there is also the Qaid Intense and also one more Shadab, right? Both of them, in fact, the entire line is really, really good. But if there was one fragrance that really stood out from me in that entire line, definitely has to be the Qaid. So yes, it's a must try, in my opinion, to think about fragrances from Middle East, right? Moving on. Another new fragrance that was launched quite recently, and I have included this in my summer list as well, and this I thought was a fab fragrance to try. This is the Caprice. Okay, this is the Al Nashama Caprice, or in my opinion, I call it Caprice Blue because it's easier for me to recognize it that way. This is a lovely scent that is cardamom heavy, and this is also a very large cardamom heavy fragrance as well. Okay, no doubts about it. This is also a cardamom fragrance, but this is a cardamom fragrance that's got woody elements. It's got a little bit of citrusy element. It's a fragrance that's popular because of the Yves Saint Laurent range, and from there you have Blue Electric, which is which is the inspiration behind this particular fragrance. This is beautiful for summer, beautiful as a fragrance to try, and it's one of those unique fragrances that are really, really good, and people are finding it difficult to get your hands on this. If you're able to buy this at the ballpark figure about 1600, 1800 or so, you should definitely consider getting this. This is simply superb, in my opinion. One of those must-try fragrances. Latafa has done some fabulous fragrances, but this is right up there, one of those top 10 fragrances from Latafa types, right? So you can definitely consider getting this. This is the Al Nashama Caprice from the house of Latafa, or alt of Yves Saint Laurent Blue Electric. All right, 7 done. Let's get going with some more. Let's talk about a fragrance from the house of Prestige Arabian. Now, I did a review of this last week, and this for me is an underrated fragrance again. This is the Hypnotic Amber from that house under the line of Prestige. Now, this is basically an Aventus clone, okay, but with a twist. Now, the twist is here of basically incense and oud that's added onto the typical pineapple, bergamot, oak moss, blackcurrant line with the woody element, right? So that's where you have a twist, where there is there is oud, and then there is of course incense and all of that, making it a Middle Eastern type of an Aventus. Now, this is fabulous because the scent profile is super good in this particular fragrance, and this one lasts like 7-8 hours. And I have had my fellow fraghead who tried this particular fragrance tell me that he's been able to get the whiffs of the fragrance on his apparel even after 2 days. So it's a fab fragrance, but it's a little expensive. It's about 3,500 rupees. But nonetheless, it's a must-try fragrance because Aventus done very differently and very unique in its scent profile. And if you like, Aventus, there are very few people who might not like Aventus as a DNA. So if you like that type of a DNA of a fragrance and you want something different or slightly modified to it, then you should definitely consider this. This is fabulous in the performance, scent profile, and everything. This is Hypnotic Amber from Prestige. All right, so I think we've done about 8, and let's move on to the next part. So this is another Latafa fragrance. I think there are quite a few Latafa fragrances here. This is the Sukrat. Okay, now this is an alt of the popular Acqua di Gio perfume. Okay, now this is a very nice flanker because one, the bottle is super heavy, very hefty bottle, heavy cap and a good bottle, but even better is the scent profile itself. The performance of this particular fragrance is probably average. You get about 4-5 hours, but if you're looking for a good aquatic, marine, incensey, citrusy type of a fragrance that you want to get compliments from, you should definitely consider this. Now, this is a very popular DNA, and that is one of the reasons why I thought this is a must try, because A lot of people like Acqua di Gio Profumo as an excellent option for office wear, and this is definitely right up there. Okay, when you smell up this with the OG, you almost get a 85-90% off, closeness to the OG, and it is really, really good as a very good pocket-friendly option. And when you think about clone fragrances to try, you should definitely consider getting this. This is really good. This is the Sukrat from the house of Latafa. Now let's go to a fragrance which I created a review of this particular fragrance, and when I did that, I really did not expect that video to go up so much. This is the John Love Matière, which is basically an alt of the Louis Vuitton's Matière Noir. Now, this fragrance review has done about 5,000 plus, I think around 5,000 views, which I really did not expect, because when I launched it, it didn't really get traction and then it just shot up. This is an underrated gem, and that's why I reviewed this particular fragrance then. But I'm glad to know that my review suggestion worked really well, because this is superb if you want to try a fragrance that's on the lines of plumacious, tart, woody and fruity type of a fragrance, but made for evening. Okay, this is superb. It's got that tanginess, it's got that tartness, it's got a little bit of that sweetness, but it's mostly a plumacious type of a fragrance, which is superb to try. This in my opinion is a beast mode kind of a fragrance, because this easily does about 8-9 hours of lasting and projects for about more than 3 feet. So if you're looking for a very good lovely scent that you want to try, especially in the evenings and nights, you can definitely wear it in the daytime as well, but this is just too good as a scent, as a fragrance. Okay, and again, people talk a lot about Maison Alhambra's Immortal or Ombre Nomad, that line, but trust me, Matière is superb. This is just too good. It's got a scent profile like a rose, like plum coming together, like some fruity elements coming together, some tartness, and just superb. You get that feeling of a little bit like leather running at the background as well, but some rose hint somewhere. On the whole, I think this is just too good. If you haven't tried this, you should definitely explore. Again, this is now available in the Indian market, so you can definitely try this, right? Right, let's get to number 11, I think so. Okay, and this is again from the house of Latafa. This is a fabulous fragrance that, I got a small one because it's very popular with people. But most importantly, people I think don't talk about how good this is. Okay, it's quite popular, but what it really is the scent profile. This I think is the alt of Lanca's Oud Bouquet, okay, Oud Bouquet by Lancome, and this is really, really up there. Like, this is a fragrance that will take you by surprise. It's got rose, it's got caramel, it's got some woody elements, it's got some oud, it's got a good amount of oud actually, and that caramelly, sugary rose at the background all coming together, and projects like crazy, about 2 to 3 feet easy, lasts for about 6-7 hours. Super underrated gem, and I think if you're able to get that larger volume of this, 100 ml volume of this for a good price, you should pick it up. This is 30 ml, and this when I tried this particular fragrance to my brother, okay, I just asked him to try it. He was zonked by it, because you don't expect a fragrance to be like this, right? Very popularly, the velvet mood is very popular, which is basically the ombre leather alt, but oud mood itself is like really, really good. This, if you like rose based fragrances, or if you want to try rose based fragrances with oud and a little bit of caramel, little bit of sugary elements, little bit of woody elements and all of that, you should definitely consider this. Must try in my opinion. This is Latafa's Oud Mood, an alternate of Oud Bouquet from Lancome. Right, moving to a popular fragrance from the house of Pandora. Okay, this is the Amorous. Now, the Amorous is basically an alt of the Bulgari's Aqua Amara. Now, the Aqua Amara has basically got orange, it's got blood orange if I'm not wrong, it's got some woody elements. It's got a good amount of freshness. It brings that zing into your day. It brings a lot of nice fun element to your freshness of a summer fragrance that you would want. But at the same time, it's got that nice spicy element of neroli or that orange leaf that you talk about. All of that makes this particular fragrance very unique. It's got that punch of that spiciness coming from that neroli and that blood orange, which brings that citrus element blast. Oh, superb. So if you want a good alternative of Aqua Amara, then you should definitely consider Pandora Amorous. This I was quite surprised at the way in which this particular fragrance works in its scent profile. Lasting, I would say, is about average 4.5-5 hours. Projection is good, but on the whole, I'm talking about the scent profile, and this is a must-try kind of a fragrance for you to explore in summers or in any kind of a weather. This is really, really good. This is Pandora's Amorist, an alt of Latav, Bulgari Aqua Amara. Okay. Now let's talk about a fragrance from the house of Carolina Herrera. This is from the house of Maison Alhambra. This is called as Exclusive Saffron. Now in this line from Maison Alhambra, I think there are 3 fragrances: Exclusive Oud, Exclusive Saffron, Exclusive Tobacco, Rose also. There are 4. I have reviewed Exclusive Saffron and Tobacco, but this is superb. Okay, sorry about that. This is basically got saffron, it's got sweetness, it's got some kind of tobacco hint, but on the whole, this is a scent profile that you will absolutely enjoy. If you like saffron based fragrances which have got a nice hint of leather, woody elements to it, you will enjoy this, because this this creation is like as if it's a designer type of a fragrance. It is too good in its scent profile. It's an exclusive saffron type of a fragrance all out, and it's got that nice aroma of some floral elements at the back end, but then in the top note you have saffron, which is just outrightly there and gives you that beautiful element of classy fragrance that you want to explore. So this is a fragrance that you should wear for weddings, you can wear it for parties, you can wear it for any time when you want to explore compliments. Probably not a great office wear scent, but in my opinion it's a very, very good scent if you can carry it off. It's a sweet scent, of course, but nonetheless it performs like absolutely beautiful. This is superb to consider. This is Exclusive Saffron from the house of Maison Alhambra. Okay, so 13 done, and let's talk about 14 and 15. Okay, so 14, 15 the 14 are 2 fragrances that are from the house of Latafa. One is the Latafa Blue Shine, okay, this one, and this is the Liam Grey. Okay, so both of them are Liam's. Okay, so this is the Liam Blue Shine, this is the Liam Grey. Now Liam Blue Shine is a fragrance that's a Profondo alt. So if you like the Sukrat, which is a Perfume series, then you will most likely like this as well. This is again very similar on that line, but a very, very beautiful fragrance to explore, and the presentation top notch, the performance is very, very good. It's again an underrated fragrance, because when you think about Acqua di Gio, Profondo, Profumo, there are a lot of options, and a lot of Indian alt houses also do excellently well. But when you think about Middle Eastern type of fragrances, there is George de Salvo and so many different options out there. But try Liam Blue Shine and you will really enjoy this particular fragrance. From a very aquatic, citrusy, incensey, that type of scent profile, you will enjoy this one very much. Now, on the other hand, I will review this particular fragrance in detail at some point of time. The Liam Grey is an alternate of a popular niche fragrance, Gris Charnel's BDK's Gris Charnel. Okay, not the extrait, the Gris Charnel. This is the fragrance, if I'm right, it's got a fig, it's got coconutty, it's got a woody type of opening, it's got some sweet element, it's got a powdery vanilla, a lot of elements like that, and it's got a very unique signature smell. Okay, it's a very wow kind of a fragrance. Running out of spaces to try, but nonetheless, this is a fragrance that I've always enjoyed. Every time I've tried it, you feel happy when you wear this fragrance. It's too good that way. This is an alternate of the Gris Charnel from the house of Latafa, from the house of BDK, and you should definitely explore this. If you like this, you should also try the extrait version that some Indian houses have it, and Centrix has got a very good one. You should try that if you like that particular scent profile. This is really close to the OG apparently. I don't have the OG, but as an individual scent, I would highly recommend you to try Liam Grey and Liam Blue Shine. Both of them fabulous, right? So the last one on this particular list is a fragrance that I absolutely enjoyed every time that I tried. This is the Blue by Ahmed from the house of Ahmed Al Maghrabi. Now from the Ahmed house, there are many fragrances to try. Like my review would be out for Zellini by the time you're watching this. So Zellini is like really, really good. Marge is good. Muzn is good. Leather, Binchek, all of those fragrances really, really good. Even Azure Royale. But one of those fragrances that really stands out for me in their collection of fragrances is the Blue by Ahmed, which is an alt of the Bleu de Chanel Parfum edition according to me. This is really good. The only difference that I feel is this is a little lower on the sandalwood note, but otherwise citrusy, incensey, that kind of a scent profile, very warm, very classy, very beautiful signature smell that can give you compliments. And if you really want to enjoy this particular fragrance, just put 2-3 drops, sprays of it on your clothes, and just lift your clothes every half an hour, 1 hour, and just smell it and see, and you will realize how great this particular fragrance smells, because the original smells absolutely fabulous. So from that point of view, I think this is a fab fragrance to have in your collection as a must try clone to to check out. If you're building a fragrance collection, then these are certain fragrances to try, right? So I hope this will give you more fragrances to try. I think some of them are there in our decants list in case you want to explore and try them. But otherwise, go ahead and you can do a blind buy on most of these fragrances. You will not go wrong. However, I would say that fragrances are very subjective. So fragrances that I feel are must try might not be the same that you feel, or some other reviewers or some other videos would show you. But these are fragrances that I have, and a few more behind there, and some in my mother's house downstairs. But nonetheless, I think these are all fabulous fragrances for you to explore and try, whether it is boozy, whether it is oud, whether it is gentlemanly, whether it is a gourmand, whether it is a oud roses or aquatic, any of these fragrances. If you're a beginner, if you want to build a collection, or if you're a professional who likes a lot of fragrances and yet you want to have some affordable options of popular fragrances, then this is a fabulous list to have. If you like this particular video, please hit the like button, subscribe and share, and do let me know what are your must-have fragrances from any of the Middle Eastern houses that you would want to try, right? So you're watching The Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Until another time, take care. Bye now.